Hello, everybody, to whoever who's watching. And hi, thanks
Hello.
for sitting down with me. I'm doing a project on how students view crude language and behavior in university life. I'd love to hear your perspective, just whatever comes naturally to you. Is it okay if we start?
Yeah, it's okay if we start.
Can you introduce yourself firsthand?
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Simran Jason Singh. Currently in my final semester in diploma in teaching English as a second language.
All right, let's move on to the questions.
All right.
The first question is, do you think crude language becomes normal because students genuinely accept it, or because they're afraid of being the odd one out?
Okay. In my opinion, I feel like they're afraid of being the odd one out. So,
Hmm.
to blend in, they try to use the crude word in their
Hmm.
daily jokes and also conversation. That's how they know they're in the same group as their friends.
So it's to belong,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So to continue, the question is, why do you think this pressure affects university students specifically?
I feel like as we grow older, mostly in this harsh environment, mostly in university, college, they are afraid of being left out.
Hmm.
So they don't want to be viewed as one of the skid students that is walking alone with no friends. So they prefer to put themselves in a position where they need to blend in. So that is where crude language comes in handy for them.
I see. So that's how it is. Moving on to the next question.
All right.
When someone uses crude or obscene language in a group, what shifts first? The mood, the respect level, or the boundaries? And how do you personally sense that shift?
Okay. Or in my opinion,
Mhm.
I would probably notice the mood first. I don't know if you call it a mood, but probably it's the face expression
Mhm.
where they have the wide eyes listening what you just said coming out from your mouth. And
Ah.
probably the second one is the respect level.
Mhm.
Like for example, if that individual is speaking to another person and they use that kind of harsh language,
Mhm.
so I probably think something why he or she is using that kind of tone or language towards someone who is higher older than them.
Mhm.
So I usually try to see their face expression, mostly around their eyes and also
Oh,
eyebrows. Yeah.
okay. So sense it basically through their body language.
Mm-hmm.
All right. To the third question,
All right.
Simran, in your experience,
Mm-hmm.
does constant exposure to online humor and
Mm-hmm.
trends make it harder to distinguish between jokes and disrespect in real life? Where do you draw the line?
So, in my personal experience,
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends that makes jokes, but they do not go that far. We
Ah,
call it dark humor or dark joke, where they
mhm.
post something online where it's memes, with something dark jokes
Memes.
going on, yes. So they should know what they're seeing, facing is real or not. So the disrespect is there, the line is there, you know your limits, and as the one who is making the jokes themselves, they should know someone they're comfortable or not with you making that kind of joke.
Ah,
So some of them doesn't really get it that they went the line itself.
yeah.
So they will continue making those jokes and they completely forgot about respect, how to communicate with people without making jokes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my experience.
So basically, the summary of your answer is that
Mm-hmm.
it depends on the person. It's
Yes.
like a 50-50 situation.
Yes.
Some people don't go past the line, and
Mm-hmm.
some people just cross the line without even noticing it.
Yeah, some of them they're aware, but
Mhm.
they choose to continue with that joke. And some
Ah,
of them they notice that they have made something, they hurt someone's feeling, but they
mhm.
still, for their own pride and face, they just continue making the jokes. Yeah. So
Okay.
in my opinion, it's something to do with their pride and ego as well.
Mm,
They don't want to look bad. Yeah.
okay, so it's trying to look cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. To the second last question,
All right.
if the university never set any rules about communication,
Mm-hmm.
do you think students would naturally regulate their behavior, or would crudeness escalate? What does that say about students of governance?
Okay. For this question,
Hmm.
I feel like crudeness will escalate quickly
Ah,
because there's no rules, so students can say whatever they want.
okay.
And there's one saying that I think from secondary and primary that we have heard, your friend is your biggest influence.
Mm.
So, like the previous question that you asked me, they want to blend in, right?
Mm.
So in order to do that, they completely forgot about their own nature, their own behavior, just to synchronize with their friend. So if
Mm.
their friends is in a bad influence category, they will follow that too. But if university have this kind of rule, I think it would be balanced.
Mm.
Some students will listen to you, some students will not listen to you. So
Okay.
I think that's my opinion, and this is how I want to answer it as well.
Ah.
Uh,
Oh, so basically, what you're saying is that the nature of the students are not pure or good to begin with.
mm-hmm.
So we need to enforce some sort of standard in order for them to follow.
Yes.
Otherwise, everything falls apart.
Yes, because your biggest influence is your own friend.
Ah,
It's not
true.
family, it's not
That
your
is true.
brother, sister, but it's your friend.
Okay.
So no rules, just follow your friends.
Understand. Okay. For our final question towards this crudeness fallacy in student behavior, student trend
Yeah.
uh, research that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
but the final question is how much of your language is truly your own,
Mm-hmm.
and how much is shaped by the people, platforms, and environments around you?
So for this question, it's a personal question, correct?
Yes, it
So
is a
for myself.
very basic, self reflecting question.
Okay. Since I'm having of an identity crisis, but I will still answer this question. So
Okay.
how much is my own true language? Is
Yeah.
that correct? Okay. So for that one, I think I constantly change the way I speak.
Okay.
So, for example, I in situation A or B, I will follow in situation A how
Mm.
they speak to people and also how they adapt to things.
Mm.
And the same with situation B. So if A is full of rude people, I will do that as well. I will speak like that as well.
Mm.
But if B, they're filled with good people, I will follow that as well. But
Mm.
actually, most of human being, it depends on what group you are in.
Mm.
So, for example, if you're friends with someone who is good, communication good, there's no rudeness within them, you will turn out the same like them.
Ah,
So if it's
yeah.
the opposite, then it reflects like a mirror.
Hmm. Okay. So that's the answer
Mm-hmm.
for the question.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. So basically, you're adapting,
Mm-hmm.
constantly adapting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think that's it for our questions for today for my report.
Okay.
Thank you very much for participating in this interview. And thank you, everyone who's listening. Goodbye. Hello to everyone who's watching. Today I will be conducting an interview towards my title of Students' Policy Towards the Normalization of Crudeness and Obscenity in Language. And thanks for being here. I'm looking into a common belief among students that crude language is simply normal in university. I want to understand how you see this from your own experiences and observations. If you're ready, we can begin. But first, can you introduce yourself towards our audience?
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Sherilyn, and I'm also taking degree right now currently, and I guess that's all for me.
Okay, right now we are moving towards our questions. For the first question, do you think crude language becomes normal because students generally accept it or because they're afraid of being the odd one out? Why do you think this pressure affects university students specifically?
So, well, for my opinion, some of these are normal because we're talking about the modern university students, right? Because sometimes it depends on the person as well. Some of them they're afraid of being the odd one out, so they try to get validation or be accepted in among these circles or like this organization in between the students,
Hmm.
especially in university where there's no boundaries. So basically, everyone can be saying anything. They can use a crude language, but still get accepted. So why do I think this pressure affects university students specifically? Well, simply to say, they want to get accepted. They want recognition, even though it's wrong, it's not proper, but they will still do it just for the sake of getting accepted among themselves. So that's basically my answer to this question.
So basically, the purpose is to be accepted and to fit in.
Yes, to fit in
Okay.
because they don't want to be left out. They want to have someone or any group friends with them because no one wants to be left out.
That is true.
Mm.
Okay. Moving on to the next question.
Mhm.
When someone uses crude or obscene language in a group, what shifts first? The mood, the respect level, or the boundaries? And how do you personally sense that shift?
Okay, so what shifts first, right? Okay, so in between these three, the mood, the respect level, the boundaries. Well, I'd say the first one to shift is actually the mood, because and after the mood would be the boundaries and the respect level. Well, we're gonna talk about the mood first. The shifting moods. Well, basically, sometimes when we listen or have someone approach us, we're shifting our moods, our thoughts, and our it's basically from their tone, how they speak it, how they present that something to you. So when you send something, you actually listen to the content, right? You're observing what you see. So the first thing to shift is actually your mood, your expression. When they say something you don't like, your face will automatically frown.
Oh.
So like it's automatic. That's what they see based on the sixth sense. The touches, the skin, what you heard, what you feel. That's the mood. Okay. So how do I personally sense that shift? Right.
Mm.
So sometimes it depends on the approach or basically what we observe itself.
Mm.
So let's say someone approaches us, right, and we're listening, we're looking, we're seeing, we're basically interacting back. Something changes the mood. Oh, I don't know what she's talking about. Now my face is frowning, or maybe I'm
Mm.
confused. And my eyebrows is you know it's like that. It's your mood that changes first because we do not focus on whatever that is, but sometimes we focus on what the content is about or
Mm.
basically what's in front of us. That's the
Ah.
observation. So that's my answer to this.
I see. So basically, how you notice it is that what do we see first?
Yeah,
So that's how
true.
what it is, and it's the mood. All right, I
Mm,
understand. Now, Sherilyn, to the third question.
mm.
In your experience, does constant exposure to online humor or trends make it harder to distinguish between jokes and disrespect in real life? Where do you draw that line?
Okay. Before that, I'm gonna explain something about, something related to that question. Okay.
Mm.
So, does constant exposure to online humor and trends make it harder to distinguish between jokes and disrespect in real life?
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna answer that first. Okay. So we're gonna touch on something about morality or rationality. Okay.
Mm.
As a student, it is something more like a common sense for us to know where to meet the boundaries. So let's say, does constant exposure to online humor and trends make it harder to extinguish? Well, actually, it's not that hard.
Mm.
If I actually think logically, appropriately, morally,
Mm.
it's not that hard to actually differentiate disrespect and jokes. But some of these students, right? Let's say they are not so exposed to this exposure such as the morality, the rationality. Most of the students doesn't really care about that, but some of the students they do know that they have that,
Mm.
and it's simple. It's not about how hard it is. It's basically depending on how you are. Are you a reserved person? Are you justice? Are you morally good? Or how do you approach this? Are you even some people they are actually exposed to this constantly, but they do not budge. They still remain the same. Some they are very easy to get influenced. So that's when things like this escalate, and they can actually differentiate between jokes and disrespect in real life.
Mm.
So whenever you have something, oh, that's offensive, that's where you draw the line.
Mm.
Because morally saying, if something is not good, you wouldn't be saying all that. You would be saying something else, right? Okay, so um, that's basically it's just that.
So basically, it's the ability to detect of the appropriation
Yes.
and some people have different levels of awareness to being able to do that.
Yes.
Ah, I see. To the second last question, Miss Sherilyn,
Mm-hmm.
if the university never set any rules about communication,
Mm-hmm.
do you think students would naturally regulate their behavior, or would crudeness escalate? And what does that say about student self-governance?
Okay, so I think these questions is basically focused on yourself, right? Okay. So of course, if there are no rules or whatsoever about communication, of course, crudeness would escalate because there's no teaching or there's no any rules about how to speak properly, how to approach people. They wouldn't care anymore. They're gonna say whatever they want, do
Mm.
whatever they want, and basically do whatever they think they feel like going to do. Okay, so thus the crudeness escalate, right? The crude languages, the behavior. There's no moral or rational to that anymore. Okay, so what does that say about self governance? Okay, so this is basically going to say about your influence, how easily you are influenced. If you are a person who's more reserved or like firm about your self principle, and
Mm.
you know what's good and what's not good,
Mm.
you are not going to be easily influenced in terms of this, even though there are no rules about communication. They just know, oh, this is right, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to be influenced by this. I'm not going to do this because morally, rationally, I think it's wrong. I'm not going to follow that.
Mm.
But some people, they're very easy to get influenced because they're exposed to these people. And sometimes it relates to the first question earlier. They want to get accepted. So they're going to sacrifice that one thing, which is the morality again, the appropriateness, the goodness in them. They're going to be sacrificing that in order for them to get accepted into society, the students itself. So, well, basically, if you're that good and firm in your self principle, you're not easily influenced. Again, I highlighted that you wouldn't be affected as much. So that says a lot about how you deal and manage yourself. So I guess that's all for me.
Okay. All right. We're moving on to the last question for this interview, which is indicated more towards a self-reflection type of question. So the question is, how much of your language
Mhm.
is truly your own, and how much is shaped by the people,
Mhm.
platforms, and environments around you?
Okay, that's a tricky question.
Mm.
Okay, so how much of a language is mine and how much is shaped by the people, right? Um, okay, all right. Now, well, basically, let's say this language, basically English or whatever that's I'm learning, is basically based on the environment. What I observe, what I learn, what I see, what I heard. That's it. That's as much is mine. Okay, but how much is shaped by the people, platforms, and the environments around you? Well, I think there's something about there's a thing called favoritism or like biasy,
Yeah.
like, oh, if I like this person, they're gonna be my role model. I'm gonna mimic or learn or basically do the same thing what they do, how they act, how they speak, and what they do. Everything I copy, I learn it, and it became mine. But it's basically saying it is shaped by the people or the platforms, my surroundings, the role model.
Mm.
We're looking for something young. Oh, we don't like this person, so we're not gonna follow that. But when we like this one person, or like basically what's going in here, like the skills maybe sometimes, oh, they know how to talk, they know how to approach people. Okay, I'm gonna learn that, and that when I learn that, it shaped me. That's where I learn. Oh, that's how it is. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be done. Okay, so that's basically my answer.
All right. So that summarizes it.
Yes.
So I think that's all. Those are the questions we covered, and that's all for our interview session today. Thank you to everyone that's listening, and thank you, Ms. Sherilyn, for participating in this interview. Uh, I think we'll end it here. Bye.